Going live. Welcome everyone. Welcome as we go live on all platforms. Welcome everyone. Welcome to Adobe Creative Cloud on Wednesday. My name is Terry White here in my studio, just getting things set up for today's stream. Welcome everybody. Hello. Let me go ahead and switch over so I can see you guys a little bit better with the comments. Hey, Ena's in the house. Pam's in the house as well. Hello, Victoria. Welcome, everyone. And it's time to talk about XD. So we've got, let's make sure we got one more window going here. Can never have too many windows open. And cool. Serena, hello. Fadio, hello. Falan, hello, everyone. Star Trek's intro, that's right. Bake like a pro, what's up? All right. And while that window still says connecting, all right, looks like we're ready to go. All right, everybody, welcome. It is Creative Cloud Wednesday. This is the day I normally stream here on the Creative Cloud channel. For those of you who are watching it on Facebook, and I'm kind of simulcasting, doing some testing here on YouTube and Twitter as well. So hello Dana and Jim on YouTube, and Bake Like a Pro and D Woods Photo over on Twitter, and of course Victor and Ivan and Nafal and everyone else I've spoken to already on Facebook. Jonathan and Diego, I see you as well. So I could shout out all day, but let's get to the topic at hand. Now, for those of you who are new to Adobe XD, what's that? Adobe XD is a UX UI design app. So think of it as Photoshop and Illustrator, or Photoshop or Illustrator, I should say, without all the other stuff that UX UI designers don't need, and a way to wireframe their designs together so they can actually make a prototype of how like an app would work, or a website would work, or any other UI experience or UI design would work. So that's what XD is. Now, this product is fairly new. It's been out well, we've been in beta, so it's hard for me to remember when we got out of beta and when we were live, but I think it's been out about a year. Last Max, I think, is when we finally rolled it out. And it's been getting regular updates every month. So May is no different. It's got 3 new features for May. Actually, it's got more than 3, but 3 that I'm kind of excited about. And they're little minor things, but they will help you in your XD workflow as you go forward. So with that said, let's go ahead and switch over to my computer so you guys can see what I'm doing. I've got XD open. So you should be able to see this very simple mock-up of a music app, a music player. There are 4 artboards in this app, and 3 of the artboards have most of the content on them. There's an artboard here that's kind of just, been whittling things on it and playing with things on it. But basically, as you can see, we've got the artboards, and over here on the left, we've got some basic tools that you should know if you've used Illustrator or Photoshop. So you've got your select tool, your rectangle, ellipse, line, pen tool, type tool, artboard tool, and of course the zoom tool. You've also got an assets panel, and you've got a contextual layers panel based on the actual artboards. And then of course you've got the properties panel on the right-hand side. So what are the 3 new things for the May update? What are they? So let's start with number 1, which is definitely going to be a time saver. And it's kind of one of the things I've been asking for, but not really getting the exact thing I wanted, but it will help until we get the exact thing I wanted. What I really want is master pages, but I don't have master pages yet. So what I really want is the ability to quickly put the same thing on multiple artboards. So while you could copy, paste, or duplicate, that could take time, especially on a complex design where you've got 50 or 100 or 1,000 artboards. So that gets old really fast. So for example, let's say I want this, this volume slider to be on the other 3 artboards. So I'm just going to go up and copy it. Of course, I can use a keyboard shortcut, but just walking you through the process visually. I'm going to go ahead and copy it. And then I'm just going to simply select the other artboards that I want it on. So that's the process. Ooh, and I didn't do that right. There we go. Let's try that again. All right, so I've got the other artboard selected, and now we're just going to go ahead and do a paste. And that should paste it on the other artboards. So now I can go ahead and pick them up, move them around. Now they're all selected at this point, so they're moving like a group, but they are individual selections. So once I deselect, I can of course pick one up separately, move it around, resize it, put it wherever it actually needs to go on the artboard itself. So it's a simple thing. It's not rocket science, but again, if you use Adobe XD, this just made your life a whole lot easier when you need to get the same thing on multiple artboards quickly. All right, the next thing is going to be kind of subtle because you almost had this ability before with symbols, but now symbols can be replaced with other symbols. Before you could update a symbol, you could certainly get into it, drill down on it, and make changes to it. But now you can actually simply just replace the symbol with a different one, and it will replace it throughout. So what I'm talking about is if I zoom in on this area here, we've got, oh, I zoomed a little too close. We've got the carrier, you know, the standard UI for a telephone, signal strength, the carrier that it would be, Wi-Fi, of course, time, battery, Bluetooth, so forth and so on. Well, what if I wanted to update that? That's on every single artboard, and of course, it's on every single artboard as a symbol. So if I were to go over to my properties panel here, I would see that there are two symbols. They're hard to see because they're white and small on light gray. But anyway, the one that's already there, if I were to select it, if I wanted to see which one it was, I can highlight and say, oh yeah, that's the one that's already there. So that's another quick tip. If you're not sure which symbol is already in use for anything in XD in this properties panel, like even for a color, I could right click on a color and say, highlight it on the canvas. Show me everywhere that color has been used. And it will do that. So if that color is in use, it will then highlight it and I can see it's in use over here. And I would be able to find out where things are being used. So again, I went to this symbol and I think that's the one I want to replace. Highlight on canvas. Yep, it highlighted it everywhere to let me know that's the one that's already being used. So now all I have to do, I'm going to deselect that, and is take the new symbol, which is this one I haven't used yet, and simply drag it onto the canvas on top of one of the existing symbols. In other words, a symbol is something that you want to use over and over and over again, and you also want to be able to update it. Now I can take this symbol and drag and drop it onto that one to replace it. And there it is. So now I've got the ability to just easily update that everywhere it's been used on every artboard quickly and easily without having to edit the existing symbol, which is what I would have had to do before, or delete the existing symbol everywhere and then add it everywhere back in. So again, these seem like little simple things. Oh, you drag and drop it and replace the symbol everywhere. Well, these are just 3 or 4. What if it was 400? That becomes a big time saver really quick when you need to get something done across a multitude of artboards or designs. So again, without me having to highlight it on the canvas, the way I would have done it prior to this update is I would have highlighted on the canvas, hit delete, put one on the canvas or copied one. Oh, that's right. I wouldn't have been able to copy and paste it. So I would have had to manually copy and paste it or place it on every single artboard, the new one where I wanted it to go. So for 4 artboards, save me a little bit of time. For 40 artboards, save me a lot of time. For 400 artboards, I would hate having to do it the old way. So little simple thing, but definitely a big time saver for those of you who are going forward. All right, so next thing I want to do is talk about one of the things that we added when it comes to sharing. Now we added this one in the last update. We've added another one in this update. When you go to share, you've got the ability to share, to publish a prototype, to publish your design specs, and of course to manage anything you've already published. Well, before, in the previous update, you could publish a prototype, and now you could require a password. So that was not this update, that was in the last update. Password protected prototypes. Now you've got the ability to go back to share, password protect your design specs. So what's a design spec? I'm going to just give it a name. I'm just going to say open me. Don't ever use that password. Worst password on the planet. That's almost as bad as password or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't use open me as a password. Anyone will be able to figure out what that is. All right, so let's see. Why am I not able to create this? Oh, that password. Let's see. So it's even telling me it needs to be better than that. It's telling me it needs to be at least 8 characters, and one of them has to be a capital, a lowercase, and a number. So it's saying, no, your password's lame. I won't even let you publish it with a password that bad. All right, so let's make it a capital O, open me 00. There we go. So I've given it at least something that it can use. And thank you, Adobe XD team, for looking out for me and not letting me use easily guessed or easily figured out passwords. All right, so now when I click create, that will just simply upload everything, create a link, and then I can copy that link out or just simply go to open it, and it should ask me for a password, and it just did. So now I can say that I want it to be capital O, me 00, and should be able to view the design spec now. So this is allowing me to share my actual layout, my thought process, my artboards with my client, and they will be able to see everything that I'm working on. Now, of course, they can zoom in and pan around and everything. That is the design spec. And again, that's still in beta. That's kind of a feature that they're still working on. But if you actually want to share your prototype, that would be where you're actually sharing the wireframing and the way you wired everything up. So let me show you an example of that real quick. Since this is going to be a quick stream, we've got a couple extra minutes here. Let me open up my recent, I'll open up this one, which is finished, I believe. All right, so here's an app, and this one's got lots of artboards. We'll zoom into a few of them. If we go to the prototype mode, I can see whether or not, I can see that some of the stuff still is not wired up. All right, let's go do it. Oh, some of it, okay, some of it is, some of it isn't. So I can see if I click sign up, it's going to take me to our artboard. But what if I click the plus sign? Okay, great, it takes me to that artboard. Okay, so this stuff is wired up. I'm going to use the back button to take me to that artboard. I'm going to use that back button to take me to that artboard, so forth and so on. So now that I've wired even more of this up together, I can simply say share or publish a prototype. And again, I get that same ability to require a password. That was where it first appeared, or not. You don't have to have a password unless you want one. And show hotspot hints, open in full screen, and of course allow comments. We'll go ahead and create the prototype. It will upload the whole thing, and then it will give me a link for the whole thing that I can look at. All right. Looking at the comments over here, make sure I don't miss any of your questions. All right, hang on. I see a question here, but my screen's not wide enough to see the whole thing. Let's see if I can make it wider. All right, so that one published. There we go. More than push button controls. All right, Nathan, I hear you. There is more on the way. All right, so Nathan's asking for more than just button controls. All right. And I think I got all the questions. The rest were just comments. All right, so let's move on. And let's go ahead and open that link up, and this will open up the whole thing. Of course, it will. Now, unlike the design prototype that opened up all the artboards, this one, of course, is just opening up the opening screen. This is basically where the person gets to walk through their app. So I can click the sign up button. It jumps to that one. This is a scrollable artboard. I can jump to that button I just wired up, which will take me to that one. Can't remember if yep, that's the back button I wired up. So this is all working. So this is again, giving the customer the ability to walk through the design that you created and letting them scroll and click and see kind of how things would work. Same thing for your developer. If you were handing this off to a developer and you kind of want to give them a heads up of how you would expect things to work, that's what sharing your prototype is actually for. All right, so that is it. That's it. Three quick new things in Adobe XD. So again, in case you just got here watching the replay or watching it at the end, paste to multiple artboards, big, huge time saver when you have a big project. Replacing symbols, again, a big, huge time saver if you got a big project. And even if you got a medium project, that's a huge time saver. And of course, password protecting your design specs in addition to your prototypes. So that's it for the May update for Adobe XD. It just keeps getting better, and keep giving the team feedback, and they will be able to add more of your ideas. So how does a client view the work? I'm not sure, Diego, if that came in a while ago, but I just showed it. So just simply share the prototype, give them the link. They open it up in a browser on any device. One more way to do it is that you have the ability, if you want, either with your iOS or Android device, you can actually download Adobe XD for your phone or tablet, I guess, and share it onto your phone. It will cache it, and that way you can walk around and actually hand your phone or hand a phone over to the client and have them walk through it as well. So lots of ways for the client to see it, including another one of my favorite ways, which is the ability to prototype it and then hit record as you step through it. You'll get these little indicators letting the person know where you clicked. And as you step through the design, you're actually recording a walkthrough, a movie that you could share as well. So I could say, hey, here's the movie, here's the website, you could do it. Here's here it is on my phone, or you can walk through it on the phone as well. So lots of ways to give it to the client to look at. So with that said, thanks everyone for joining me for this quick 3 new things in Adobe XD. I hope you guys got something out of it, and cool. If not, go check out Adobe XD, and there's even a new free starter version of Adobe XD. So you can actually get started with Adobe XD without even having to pay it for Creative Cloud membership. So with that said, again, thanks for watching, and we will catch you on the next one. Bye, everybody.